Hello, my quilty friends. It's Stacy of Stacy Creates Stuff, and today I have for you a very quick quilt that you can make in a day. When I first saw the Moonlight Collection by Jennifer Moore for Windham Fabrics, I fell in love. Her deep, rich colors were just stunning. What a beautiful, beautiful palette of blenders that she put together. It took me a little while to figure out exactly how I was going to use this beautiful color combinations in a quilt. And as fall was approaching, I started to think about the colors of the leaves changing, but you still had a lot of greens, and then the sky's getting darker, just like all the colors in this quilt. And so this is how Falling Leaves came to be. This quilt is super simple to put together. From each of the main fabrics, of which there are 18, 2 4.5-inch strips and 2 1.5-inch strips. You make a strip unit by pairing one of the smaller strips to one of the larger strips. Now, following the instructions, you know which ones to pair together. I recommend pairing up each set of fabrics that make the strip that is a wide and a narrow piece. Each combination is paired to make 2 sets that have a narrow and a wide, and 2 sets that are the opposite with the wide and the narrow. Once you have all of your strip pairings together, then I like to put them into sets of 3 pairings before I cut them apart. Now, yes, at some point I am going to have to unstitch one of the seams, but I find it's a lot easier to make my set of 3. A tip is to start cutting the longest sections first. So I started with the 12.5, and now I'm doing a 10.5, I'll do the 8.5, and then the 6.5. And that is because if you make a miscut and say instead of 10.5 you accidentally cut a 9.5, no worries. You still need to get an 8.5 out of it, and then you could cut your correct 10.5. So cut the largest sections first and work your way down to the smallest widths. Once you have all of the strip sets cut into their various widths, the 12.5, 10.5, 8.5, and 6.5, then you can start to assemble the columns of the quilt. On the design wall, I have 4 strips. This is of the warm colors. So we have the 12.5, 10.5, 8.5, 6.5, and they're too long to fit on my design wall. Now that I have those done, I'm going to go ahead and do the cool color strips. And here we have the cool color strips. The warm color columns have the wider piece at the top of the unit, and the cooler colors have the narrower piece at the top. Once you have all of your columns sewn together, it is time to sew those columns together to make your quilt top. When I went to quilt Falling Leaves, I decided on a nice swirling pattern on my long arm. And I did that because there are so many vertical and horizontal straight lines that I wanted something that had a lot more movement. And of course, to invoke windy days of the fall for the falling leaves. If you love the colors and fabrics of the Moonlight Collection as much as I do, and you would like a kit for Falling Leaves, good news. My favorite quilt shop, Vintage Pink and Green, has kits available in both of their locations and online. So if you are ready for a new fall quilt, you can have this one done in 1 or 2 days easily. And if you're looking for more quick quilts, check out this.